Everybody knows that you cannot trade with your emotions and have success over time. So you might be chasing setups in the middle of the day because you think that price is going to make a new high or a new low, or this is the top or this is the bottom. That might work on any individual day, but if you zoom out at your equity curve, it's probably not looking great. And that's because you're trading based on your emotions and not based on the data. So what does that actually mean? What does trading with data mean? It means that you've done some sort of analysis, you've done some sort of back test that is telling you that if you do X, when this situation sets up, over time, you're going to make money. This thing sets up, this target gets hit more times than it doesn't, whether it's 51% of the time or whether it's 85% of the time. But if you don't have that analysis, you're never gonna know if the trades that you're taking are actually in your favor, right? Like you can get short at a random level because you see that there's a top wick on a 2-minute candle, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing is data backed. You're trying to like catch a move in the middle of the day. That's not consistent, that's not repeatable. You can't do that over time. And the problem is that doing the analysis to actually get that information so you stop trading with your emotions is extremely difficult. So my background is in finance and accounting. I used to work at a hedge fund, actually it was a top 100 performing hedge fund in the world, and I also worked at Goldman Sachs. So I have the experience to actually do the analysis that's gonna tell me when to actually take a trade and when not to take a trade, what is high probability and what is not. And I used to do it in Excel, in Microsoft Excel. And for someone like me with certifications in Excel, with a history of data analysis, it was still like practically impossible for me to actually go through and build out these reports or these back tests properly in a way that actually scaled. So for me, I had to buy the price data, I had to clean the price data, I had to build the reports, I had to build all the models, I had to do everything else. Let alone like I actually knew how to do that. Most people don't even know how to do that. And then I had to go and apply it to the data, to my trading, but then I also had to refresh it every month. So the data from 6 months ago is not relevant in this market environment. So I have to go and I have to pay $60 to get the price data to go and refresh my model. If I wanted to go and add another filter or another sub-report or another variant to my model, it took me another 6 hours to do it, not even knowing if the result was gonna be worth it or not. So I actually went through and I was looking for a tool that does this for me online. I signed up to every single software tool in the trading space, and I did not find a single one that does what I wanted. And that's where Edgeful comes in. Edgeful.com is going to give you the reports on the opening range breakout, the initial bounce, the gap fill, FOMC data, CPI data, earnings data on any asset that you trade, whether it's crypto, futures, stocks, Forex, it doesn't matter. We have the data that dynamically updates every single day and all the reports that you could possibly need in order to start trading with data on your side. So what do I mean data on your side? The reports. I'll talk about the gap fill report, when price retraces back to previous day's close. If you know that there is a 15% chance that price is going to retrace back to previous day's close, you're obviously not going to take that trade. How would you know that there's only a 15% chance that that's going to happen? You wouldn't, honestly, unless you have a tool like Edgeful. Otherwise, you're going to be putting your money behind trades that have a very low probability of working out without even knowing. So you're blaming your emotions or whatever else on your trading, right? You're blaming the markets, you're blaming stop hunters or whatever else. But in reality, what's going on is you are putting money behind a trade that has no probability of actually working out. And it's not even your fault, honestly. It's the fact that you don't know what the probability is. So Edgeful's reports are what's going to help you understand that on this day, based on this gap size, I should not be looking for the gap fill. I should actually be looking for a gap and go. Runners, right? I want price to gap up and run. I don't want to expect that reversal. And there's no possible way that you could know that without being a programmer or an analyst or a quant without Edgeful. So in terms of the actual reports, we have over 100 reports. So whether you're a scalper intraday or you swing trade or you trade the overnight session, if you trade futures, it doesn't really matter because we have all the reports that you could possibly need in order to take fully data-backed trades. So you can determine your bias, your targets, your entry, your stop loss using the Edgeful reports every single day. What's actually really nice is that we build custom reports for you. So let's say that we don't have a concept that you like to look at, right? Let's say you trade fair value gaps or you trade previous day's high. And you want to measure something specific. You want to know for every time previous day's high is broken, how often do we close above previous day's high? Let's say that we don't have that. We actually do have that report, but let's say that we didn't. We would go through and actually build that for you as part of the Edgeful plan. So it's not like, oh, well, they don't have something for me, because we can build it for you. And later this year in Q4 of 2025, we are building Edgeful AI that will be able to build any report that you want automatically for you, practically in an instant. So you don't even have to worry about, well, now I have to have them build it, I have to do whatever. On the fly, you're gonna be able to build your own reports. Any questions that you have that you might see on Twitter, or you might send in your Discord community that you're in about like, hey guys, do you know how often this happens? That's where Edgeful AI is gonna come in. But right up until we have Edgeful AI, we have the reports that we will actually build for you. So really, if you boil it down, what the Edgeful reports do is they allow you to focus on very high probability setups. And then also, and more importantly, stay away from bad setups. So trading is about making money, which is capitalizing on high probability opportunities, and also about preserving your capital where you're not taking a 10% probability trade. You need to make sure that you can allocate your trades properly from high probability setups to low probability setups and know when you should either hammer in or take a step back. Without the Edgeful reports, it is going to be virtually impossible for you to actually trade with high probability. So when everyone says an A+ setup, nobody has a way to define that except for Edgeful, because we have all the data you need to properly put your money behind a certain setup because you know how often it will actually play out. So make sure to go check out edgeful.com for the Edgeful reports.